First of all, Tatum's an excellent player. He played arguably the best game of his career last night, and you saw one of the reasons why Danny Ainge was so hesitant to even include his name in any trade talks, even for a player such as Anthony Davis. So credit to Jayson Tatum for being the best player on the court last night. But I'm old enough to remember a whole 3 months ago when the entire NBA media industrial complex was trying to convince me that man over my shoulder is the best player in basketball. Best player in basketball based on nothing in his career other than an amazing month. A really, really great conference semifinals and conference finals, and a pretty damn good first few games of the NBA Finals against a beat-up Warriors team. And, you know, to misquote Marshall Mathers, will the real best player in basketball please stand up? And someone should check and see around either Milwaukee or Los Angeles if Giannis or LeBron is standing right now. It'd be a little early for LeBron out in L.A. because those are the only two people in this discussion. I'm told Kawhi Leonard, the reason he's in the discussion for the best player in basketball is because he does it on both ends of the court, which once upon a time was true and now is true like it is for almost all great offensive players except for Giannis. He picks his spots defensively because he has such a heavy workload offensively. He wasn't shutting anyone down yesterday. I'm told all the time what makes Kawhi Leonard so special is he is this mid-range god. He has so much elements of Michael Jordan's game. The problem with being a mid-range guy, if you're not Michael Jordan, is you're going to shoot about 42% on him. And they're inefficient shots. And if that is your go-to and you're only getting to the rim 16% of the time, you can go as he did, if at the end of the game, miss. His one make in overtime was after rebounding his own miss. And it is indicative to me, Ryan, of what we've seen all year long, which is Kawhi is a great player on a really good team. But he is being talked about like he is the greatest player on the best team, and both of those two things could not be further from the truth.
Nick, you really confuse me right now because you talk about Kawhi Leonard and you say that everything that he did last year and his great month didn't matter. Well, that's when it only matters, when it's championship time, when it's in the playoffs, when he had to put Toronto on his back against Philadelphia, against the Golden State Warriors. But ultimately, I don't cause too much concern in the regular season from Kawhi. He's not a guy that's going out to try to get an MVP title. He's not trying to wow you. He's going to get a championship. That's the one focus Kawhi, and that's the one focus of the Clippers. Now, in terms of Jayson Tatum, he's absolutely special. Let's not act like he didn't have an amazing Game 7 against LeBron James about 2 years ago, so we know why everybody, Danny Ainge and company, are ranting and raving. But when I look at this Clippers squad, at any time Doc Rivers could have said, Kawhi, you got Tatum. Go guard him. Now, in terms of the Clippers,
why didn't he?
It's not that time yet. It's not that time.
Okay. I didn't know last night's game didn't matter. That's it. Somebody should call the NBA because the standings say it did. And so
that was Game 7 of the championship yesterday.
No, but in order to get to the championship, you got to win some of these games. And this idea, you can say I'm acting like, oh, great month of basketball doesn't matter. I'm not acting like that. I'm acting like it can't be the only thing that matters. And one thing you said I immediately take issue with, put a Toronto team on his back, a Toronto team that the year before Kawhi got there, they won 59 games. This year, they're on pace to win 61 games. The year he was there, they were 17-5 without him. We do have to start to acknowledge that maybe, just maybe, Kawhi Leonard, at every spot of his career, has been in the ideal basketball situation. The amazing infrastructure in San Antonio that existed before and after him. The team in Toronto that existed before and is existing after him. And this team in Los Angeles that I'm told is the deepest, Nick, one of the most well-rounded teams in basketball.
I wouldn't say that anything in Toronto was absolutely excellent and stand out. This was a team that could not get over the hump. They were regular season kings. I mean, they had some of the most amazing regular seasons that we had seen, and they couldn't get over that hump. Well, guess what Kawhi Leonard did? He got them over that hump.
No, the hump went to the Western Conference. The entire hump for the Raptors was LeBron, and he left, and he didn't have to get over the hump last year.
Let's not overlook that Philadelphia team. I know they're underachieving. I know the expectations are over the roof, but that was a good win. Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid, that was a tall task at hand. So then they knocked off the Milwaukee Bucks. So we cannot overlook what he did in the playoffs. Now, ultimately, When you look at the Clippers, they're not too concerned about the regular season, Nick. So I know you want to hold a lot of weight. I know this gives you a case against for your Lakers of how great and how amazing they are. And ultimately, the shoes have flipped. We thought the Lakers would be the team that's saying, hey, man, how can we get healthy? What do we need to do? Anthony Davis in and out the lineup. LeBron James not healthy. No, they've actually been healthy. It's the Clippers that have struggled with health. But this gives me zero concern because you haven't seen a full healthy Clippers team. And I know what it's like when you go 2 or 3 games before the All-Star break. You just want to get there and get healthy. And if I'm Doc Rivers and I'm looking at my Clippers team, we haven't had a full practice as a full squad yet.
Yeah.
There's no Patrick Beverley, okay? Paul George goes out at half. These are guys that are trying to get it done by committee, and they weren't able to do it.
Which is why you need your best player to show up every night, and he won't. And it's why you need your best player who has not been hurt this year, but has been load managing to prevent injuries, to not be the most load managingest player that we've ever seen in the NBA because Paul George coming off double shoulder surgery and dealing with a hamstring, because Patrick Beverley's been hurt. And I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's
Jenna.
okay.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it doesn't concern you at all that this Clippers team is heading into the break. Now you're down Paul George. You've had 27 different lineups going in that Doc Rivers has had to work with. None of that concerns you, the chemistry, the injuries, all of it?
I'm absolutely zero concern. When it comes to time to show up, time to show out against your Lakers, the Clippers have done that. I did not look at the Clippers playing against the Celtics and say, hey, man, this is a championship right here. They have to win. This is a must-win. You know what that meant to Boston last night? It meant everything. When you have a bullseye and a target on your – because the entire league has a consensus that the Clippers are going to be the champions. That's the team to beat. Kawhi Leonard is the best player in basketball. That's who you have to show up against. When you think about LeBron James, you don't know which LeBron is going to show up. So getting a win over the Lakers doesn't mean the same as getting a win over the Clippers.
What you just said might be the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. The idea that people aren't getting up for the Lakers, but they're getting up for the Clippers and their long history of success, and the idea that anyone can say with a straight face.
How about the last 6 seasons? What a long history of success. How have the Lakers been?
The Lakers.
They didn't make the playoffs last year. What are you talking about, Nick?
Of course, they've been a train wreck the last 6 years, and the Clippers in the last 60 years have never made a conference finals. But don't worry about that, because these are obviously 2 totally different teams. Nobody actually believes Kawhi's the best player in basketball. Nobody does. If they did, you know how I know it? Because he's going to get, in large part, and by the way, he deserves it, because 2 overtimes of getting outplayed by Tatum and not making a shot and being awful down the stretch doesn't define you unless you actually are.
I never knew you put so much weight on the regular season. I can't believe this.
Unless you actually are the best player in basketball. Then you get evaluated on every single missed shot, on every single
Nick, real quick, why do you define LeBron James as the greatest, if not one of the greatest players of all time? What makes it? His regular season efforts?
No, but we are in the regular season, Ryan Hollins. So that's all we have to evaluate it on.
No.
And if the Clippers were having anything close to the season people expected them to, we would say, see, this is why they're the best team in basketball.
Nobody thought the Clippers were going for 70 wins, Nick. Come on.
Thought maybe they'd get 55.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.